The bears seem to be preparing a serious one for this ticker, and the bottom side targets are already presenting a multiple point move down. This breaking down of the critical macro support is the ultimate validation for the new lows to be seen in the coming days. Welcome back to the channel on this happy Monday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into ticker symbol TSLA. Let's kill them, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive in to ticker symbol TSLA, and we're going to be observing this on the 8-hour chart here. I know that I have it on the 8-hour. We could see this on the daily and on the weekly, but I would have to actually express some concern over what's happening first on the daily. So we'll move down to the 8-hour time frame and to the other time frames as this progresses. Okay, so traditional market close, we ended up getting 212.08. After hours came up to 214.10. So please go ahead and notice here that at traditional market close, first of all, the sign that we're getting for a potential downside continuation, this is actually huge because of the SMA 200 currently being converted into a resistance. Okay, team, so that's actually very, very, very bearish for this asset. And not only that, is if I block the visibility out from the moving averages here and zoom out like crazy, then you will go ahead and notice that this is a macro scale descending broadening wedge that started essentially back here in November 2021, right at the start of the bear cycle, right? So this met the traditional rules pretty nicely, right? We got a 1, 2, 3, 4 tests. We got a huge capitulation event. We got that top side breakout from the 5th and true breakout test, retest of the 5th, and then we actually move onwards and upwards. But whatever has happened fundamentally and through the and also regarding macroeconomic data releases like also the Fed and the CPI and everything else, the price action has not continued to the upside. I know there was a conference today too where Elon Musk was actually weeping some, right? So that actually kind of put a negative feeling here towards the TSLA asset. But please notice here that these are two consecutive candles closing beneath the regression and top side of this broadening descending wedge, right? So, or descending broadening wedge. So now this, and also the SMA 200 kind of serving as that resistance. So what I'm looking at here is that, yeah, we could be potentially seeing a little bit of a recovery, tiny upside, specifically into the targets of around 217 or 217.59, but I would have to express some concern over that. First of all, 217.59 would be the top side of this candle here, which would mark off the bottom side of this gap, right? So that could be a zone for us to look at. Let's just mark it out of the way so that we have it here jotted down, right? So right around there to the bottom side of that wick, right over here, right, approximately 220.88 to 217.59 looks to be a pretty nice area of resistance. So let's pull up the moving averages, see that okay, so the SMA 200 is pretty much is very close to that 217 bottom side. Okay, so now where could we be going, right? This could be the confirmations that we're getting to validate resistance here before a continuation to the downside. Now, there are some targets that I would like to point out first. First of all, this wick right over here. Yes, it seems random, but it's very important. And why is it important? You say, ARCa. Okay, well, the reason why this wick is very important was because this was after this huge capitulation. We marked off the bottom side here as the invalidation zone after this nice bounce to the upside, right? As soon as we broke beneath this support zone here, price action started gapping down, and then started actually going all the way down from this, what was it? Technically actually from 237.30 all the way down to $101.81. So the importance of this candle here is incredibly, wow, can't speak English. Incredibly great, right? So let's go ahead and just kind of put I think it was 198.59, right? So it's just, I can't really get it right there. So it's just going to have to do, well, actually, let me try to zoom in a little more so that we could be a little more exact here. All right, that's just going to have to do. All good. All right, so this is the space to where I'm looking at for a potential take profit or a cover based on a short play, right? So if we are set to make an upside, then how can we determine that we are going to get that upside in the first place? Well, a few indicators are able to tell us that. Okay, actually, first of all, let me make sure that I do have the okay Gaussian nothing right there. Just a moment, team. Let me go ahead and put up. Okay, composer is telling us that it would be a downside. Okay, great. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull back to the 30-minute time frame. And the 30-minute time frame, first of all, the armor indicator, the armor algorithm here that it's it's part of the ARQ indicators. You saw it in the introduction of this video. Um, you can actually acquire these indicators, right, by getting in touch with us at arqindicators@gmail.com. So let me just go ahead and show a couple things along the way, right? arqindicators@gmail.com. Go ahead and get in touch with us, right? And we'll go ahead and explain to you or give you the subscription packages for these algos. Okay, so this already has a 30-minute long signal printed here. We're currently in the money, a few percent up. So this is, first of all, one of the reasons that we're looking at a potential upside. Not only that, is that if we look at the RSI here in the 30-minute time frame, we're getting a bullish crossover upside of the SMA 14 represented by that pink line. The MACD is already getting some prints here of green, right, and making a bullish crossover as well. Stochastic momentum, EMA 3 and the SMA 14 are pivoted towards the upside, and it looks like we're about to start expanding. Okay, so that's an upside bias, right? Hourly time frame, it looks like we already have or are now actually the leading indicator being the EMA 3 yellow line is already showing a pivot towards the upside. RSI actually in the gravitational zone getting pulled up to the upside here. And it looks like we're starting to get some darker bar right here in green from the MACD. All right, now let's move on to the 3 hour and 4 hour, right? So 3 hour time frame, notice the very convincing upside pivot here. We have a bullish crossover on the MACD happening right here with green bars on the histogram. That looks very nice. And an upside pivot on RSI. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame, which is the minimum time frame I would consider for a nice upside move. And you can see here that contraction has started. We have an upside pivot with stochastics, bullish crossover, and in the gravitational zone of the oversold percentile in the RSI. Likely to continue on to the upside, diminishing bear pressure here on the MACD, a potential crossover happening soon. Okay, now as we lead into the 6 hour, you can see that the 6 hour time frame shows that it's right at the resistance of the SMA 14. So we're getting very close. What we want to see is the SMA 14 upside of the signal line from the RSI represented by this baby blue line. So if the 8 hour has it, that would be our resistance, and bam. So the 8 hour does have the SMA 14 above us, and it would suggest a potential resistance grab from this before a continuation to the downside. So now seeing that all of the time frames from the immediate short term, like 30-minute and hourly, are leading with an upside all the way up to the 8 hour time frame, that tells us that we may be able to see an upside continuation here for at least I would say maybe tomorrow, right? So if there is an upside here, please remember I already gave you some of those targets, right? So an upside target could be at about 217.59 to 220. Now, the average true range from this asset is, let's see, from a 14-day close, you're looking at $7.41 on average, right, of true range, up or down. So if we were to measure $7.41 from this point here, so 214, right, going up to this area here of our resistance of 220 marks what? So that's already about, it's already above $6. Right, so if we are going to face a deeper correction here to 222 to meet that 740, sure, we can get up to $223, and it looks like there are some resistances there, specifically right over here, right at about 223, I would say 222.91 to about 220. Yeah, let's do 223.23. So that would be the bottom side of this candle right over here as well, right? So 223. Let's see that 223. I know I said 223.23, but we can leave it at 223.07, right? So, right, it just kind of went out of the way real quick. So let's just go ahead and kind of correct that a little bit. There we go. And it looks like that could be a focus point for the for the resistance, right? So let me just go ahead and put it on here as well. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Okay, now let's see if we have any 8 hour moving averages located there, right? So let's get rid of the armor indicator, And what do you know? We have the we have the 8-hour EMA7 located right at this 220.88 and the EMA9 located right at that 223.07. So that is giving us further validation here that we can continue up to the on to the upside here. Maybe by the end of the day tomorrow or mid-session somewhere, we could be seeing a potential retracement here and a huge resistance based on these moving averages and also the RSI 8-hour resistance at the SMA 14. Okay, so that from there, I do believe that we can actually make a move all the way down here to the resistance. I'm sorry, to the support range of let's draw it in. Yeah, 202.83 to 198. It would be 59, not 69. Okay, so that's just kind of what I'm putting out here. So let's measure that, right? Let's just say that we caught entry here at 223.03, right? If we did get that, the very top side of the move here is a minus 9% move, and then this could also be an almost minus 11% drop here. So that's an 11% gainer, otherwise known as this asset moving 25 points down. So you can only see how big, how massive of a gainer that can be. Okay, team. So I do see that there is downside here, and in the 8-hour time frame, I am noticing that volume profile is increasing while this downside is happening. That is usually a sign of a continuation to the downside here. Okay, team. So yeah, I would express some concern over here. Now, one more thing, team. I did open up 30 seats for the ArcMasters trading course, of which I think only 6 are available now. So please go ahead and get in touch with me for this 16-week mentorship program that should be starting maybe in the second week of November as the roster fills, right? It's very close to getting filled, and it's only been announced for about 2.5, 3 weeks now. So all of the seats are almost taken. So go ahead and get in touch with me at ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com to get enrolled. I'll go ahead and pass you the syllabus, the disclaimer, and all of the pertinent information for the mentorship program. Okay, team. So I think you know the targets, you know the bottom sides and the top sides here. And I do believe that this actually may even make a deeper correction than this bottom side here. But our job here is not to be greedy. It's to make sure that we can siphon from the markets when appropriate, right? So I do appreciate everybody for coming by and watching this. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, never, never. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios. Yeah.